People in the room already. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy that you're here with me today. We are going to talk about mink foil. And I really wish that I had the new toy, but I don't. So I'm sorry if you were like, she has the stamping stuff. I don't. I'm sorry. I wish I did, but I do have some other stuff, and I think that it would be fun. Play with foil, experiment with foil. I have some experiments for us today, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and we can make pretty things. So that's kind of perfect. I have some things that are kind of pre-prepped, and I have some things that we're just going to do live. So hopefully this is a lot of fun for you. If this is your first time catching one of my Happy at Home series, welcome. My name is Alice Bowl, and I run the membership group at ScrapHappy.org. And this is our chance to hang out together so that we can just kind of work on some scrappy skills, have a little bit of scrappy chat, and just have some fun together during this time where everybody's spending a little bit more time at home. So welcome. Kathy says, I've missed you all since Tuesday. And Joyce is here saying hi. Sharon is hi. Jacqueline is hi. Oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. And oh, I already see some thumbs up. You guys are so super sweet. I have a question for you. If you used the link in my email, was it better? Did it take you right to this? Was it better this time? I was working on trying to figure out how to send better links for live events. So if you can let me know if that worked out. Kathy says, you look wonderful today. Well, thank you so much. I'm feeling rather warm. I had my sweater on, but I don't need it now. So hopefully I have everything. Teacher says, good afternoon. Okay, we are set. So I will start this off by saying, I don't actually have a Mink machine yet. It's like Alice is going to talk about Mink stuff, but she doesn't have one. It's true. I don't have one of the machines yet. I think I'd really like to get one of the 12-inch machines. There's been a few things that have held me back from getting them. And one of them is that I have been able to get some of these effects without having the Mink machine itself. So, I've done some cheater methods. And if you want to dip your toes into it, that might be a fun way for you to try this out as well. So Kathy says the link was much better. Glenda says the link worked out great. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to hear that. I was like, how do you do this to send people right to the live stream? And I'm so glad we got that figured out, and thanks for your feedback. That really helps a lot. So if you're sitting here and you're like, Alice, what is this Mink machine you're talking about? I don't even know. This is not something that I'm familiar with. Then I have magic in store for you today. I'm so excited. Mink allows you to foil things yourself. And there are limitations, and there are things like that kind of don't work very well, but it gives you the chance to really play and have fun with it. Oh my gosh, you guys, I see the little numbers going up, and it kind of just makes my heart swell a little bit. So thank you. And I do want to know the cheater method, says Sharon, because I don't want to buy the machine. The machine is not inexpensive. However, there are some massive advantages to getting the machine, and we'll kind of talk about that. So let's start off. Foiling. What kind of effects can we get? How does it work? And how can we cheat? And why would we actually want the machine? So let's go. First off, I think would be to show you something that you can make with the Mink machine. What do you need? You need some Mink foil. So this is one example of some of the fabulous foils you can get for your Mink machine. So this is a heat reactive foil, which means that you need to have heat. It comes in rolls like this. Look how pretty. This is like a champagne gold. This is seriously my favorite. It's so beautiful. And it's a heat reactive, so you need to use some kind of method to apply the heat, like the Mink machine, which is from Heidi Swapp. Heidi Swapp is the Mink, M-I-N-C. So This machine is super fun, but it works kind of like a laminator. It's different than a laminator, but it works kind of like a laminator. So we're just going to go there from the start. I have a laminator. It is a Scotch brand laminator that I got from Walmart for less than $20, maybe even less than $15. It is not the world's most fancy machine, but you know what? It laminates pages, and it has allowed me to play with some of this stuff. So the other thing that you need is a way for your foil to stick to whatever it is that you're foiling. And up until recently, there were not very many options. So you could print something with a laser printer so that it has toner. So use a toner printer to print something such as this happy birthday, which is, I realize, not centered on the card. It's like, Alice, that's going to go crazy. Going to drive me crazy. It's okay. I'll cut it down. It'll be totally fine. But you could take this, print it with a toner printer, not with an inkjet printer, which isn't convenient because I know lots of people don't have one of those, but it's a good way to get your feet wet. So let's pull my machine over here and let's turn on my screen share. Let's have a look at this. Where's my scenes? We'll do, it's perfect. I think that's perfect. Anyways, should work. So we have the machine. Let's move this stuff over just a little bit, and we're gonna have a slightly bigger view today than we have had in the past, because that allows us to play a little bit more and see a little bit more. Okay, so I have my image that has been printed with an inkjet, not with an inkjet, with a toner printer. Oh my God, I'm already saying the wrong thing. So welcome and hi. There we go. Let's start that again with a toner printer. Now we can use many different colors. I think to make this really pop, we're gonna pull out a little bit of this bright blue. What do you think? Ooh, it's lovely and so pretty. And let's have a look. Will it fit this way? You need to cover the entire image. Oh, Dion says, I forgot she was going to talk about the Mink today. So extra fun for you. It's like a bonus. And I'm going to just cut a piece off. I will say this piece is somewhat damaged. It's not in the greatest of shape, you know. It's foil. It can, so you can see there's actually like little holes where you can kind of see through it. So that part obviously won't leave foil on my project. You need to put it face down onto your spot. I'm gonna see if I can make that little gap line up where there's no printing. Perfect. And as long as you've covered the whole image, this is just a piece of parchment paper. If you get a fancy Mink machine, I think they have like a special folder you can put it into. You could buy yourself a little folder if you want. Parchment paper seems to work just fine. And but you know, you could always follow your manufacturer's directions. In other words, do what you will, but only take my advice with a grain of salt. And I'm gonna run this through the machine. Right now I have it on the 3 mil setting. I'm not sure if that's gonna be hot enough. We could change it to the 5. It kind of depends partly on the paper that you're putting it onto, if it makes it hot enough. So that is one little tip, but we'll see. And if this one turned out good, then great. I'm always impatient when they're coming through the line here. I'm always like, come on, come out. So what I could do is I could cut this a little shorter, because why not, right? Cut it a little shorter, and then I can, then I won't have to wait as long. And yeah, I'm cutting it in 2 separate lengths just so it's like easier to handle. Okay, so here is the magical part. Did it work? How well did it work? This laser printer that I have, it hasn't been the greatest machine that we've ever had for a laser printer. Our old one, after many years, finally died, and I was like a little heartbroken. It was a workhorse. It worked so good. So here we go. Not bad, not bad. It's not perfect. So you can see here's like the leftover part. You can kind of see right through it, right? And here is the card. It's upside down because, yeah, good at this. And you can see if you look really close, there are little imperfections. Some of that is from my printer being imperfect. You said to put the foil on face down. So with this one here, it was blue, and it's kind of silvery on the background. Thanks for asking that. So it's kind of silvery on the background. So it's actually like meant for the blue. So that's how you know. If you had silver paper, I actually don't even know. I have one that's close to silver, but even that one is easy to tell. It's more like an oil slick kind of paper. And so the backside is definitely the backside of it. But yeah, it looks so pretty, right? And the great thing, and it's super funny because I've used this font with this the last time and I couldn't find the print file. If I had saved that print file properly and I could have just printed this off again, I could have had that centered. But anyways, they're super easy. It doesn't rub off, right? Like it's not going to come off. And so it's quite permanent on there. Now, if you're like wondering and you're like, oh, but I don't have a laser printer, Alice. Like, we don't have one of those. We're not running an office at home, so we don't need one. You could always take your file and have it printed at a place like Staples or Office Depot, copy shops, whatever it is, and have them print that for you. And then you can actually even request to have it printed onto like a cardstock or something. And it might even go through your machine a little bit better. This is a pretty lightweight cardstock that I have. I pick it up just at Staples for making cards. And it's one that my printer doesn't hate. So it's kind of finding that sweet spot that, you know, it's thick enough that makes me happy to work with, but it's thin enough that my printer doesn't hate it. Dion says, got it. I never looked at the papers before and I wasn't sure how easy. Yeah, other than a silver, which I don't even think I have a silver that's legit silver. Yeah, but it comes in so many colors. Like this pack here has green and red, so it's like perfect for Christmas. They call it reactive foil, green and red reactive foil, and use with the Mink. Applicator sold separately, so you can get small things and big things. There's different kinds that you can get, and there are different brands that do the same thing. There's different companies that have their own heat reactive foils. I've used the Mink one the most, so you know, if you have experience with the other ones, you can like type in the comments and tell us. You'd be like, oh, I actually really like this better, or this one's the best, or it doesn't matter, they all work. Like, go ahead and give us your best information. Sharon says, so it doesn't have to be foiled immediately after printing. No, and that's the thing, like these, you can print off a bunch of them and have them ready. You could print off a bunch of them and just do a whole bunch of card faces. So that part makes it really fun. And like when I'm doing them, I actually take the time normally to create myself a template that kind of works out perfectly. So this was one of my test prints. I'm like, well, they're almost lined up. I just quarter fold it and be like, okay, I need to move it up into the corner a little bit more and make sure that they're all centered a little bit. So this machine, Kathy says, what machine did you just put it through? This is a Scotch brand laminator. It just laminates stuff. You know, you put it into the little lamination pockets and pop it through and you have something laminated. Well, you can also play with this heat reactive foil. And here's the limitation. So why would you want the big machine if you can do stuff with this? If you only ever want to do little things, this is fine. This is great. If you're only doing cards and stuff like that, you could probably get away with this just fine. But if you want to put something on a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, that's not going to fit through here. So I've really been leaning towards getting myself a Mink machine. And I don't know if you saw, but Heidi Swap just introduced a new pink Mink. It's like, it was made for me, right? A new pink Mink. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's time. It's one of these things that I keep coming back to. So Sharon asked a great question. Does some kind of other heat work? So if you wanted to use like a heat tool or something, it just doesn't. You have to have that like squishing, kind of squashy heat that really puts it evenly on there. And if somebody has a trick for using like a heat tool, I'd love to hear it. So that is a thing. So if you don't have the printer, we said you can get stuff copied at a copy shop. But another thing that you can do is you can buy products that are already prepped and ready to be used for this. So in some of Heidi Swap's collections, she actually has pieces in her collection that are ready for the Mink. And so if you look on the back of this package, you can see the gold foiling on some of the images, like the tag that has like a big topper on it and like the word unique, and a lot of the pieces in this package are ready to be used in the Mink machine. So I thought we should take something out and use it and play with that too. So some of these already have it. So let's have a look here. So some of these are pre-done with stuff on them, and some of them that have the black. So here, there's the word happy, has the black on it, and the black is the part that you can foil yourself. And so what's really cool is you kind of have a mixture of some in here that are pre-done and some that you do yourself, and some that are maybe both. So this one already has the gold foil on it, but it has the black on the top, and you can add just this little hint of extra color. So how fun is that? Maybe we should do a little happy, a little heart, and this little notes thing. What do you think of that? Love you more and more. How sweet is that? Okay, let's do these pieces. And if you're doing multiple pieces like this, you don't have to do them all one at a time. You can put several in together and run them through the machine. Oh, and some of these foils, I tell you guys, are amazing, which is why I would want to get a big machine. Look at this foil. Amazing. It is ombre colors with pinks and yellow, like golden. And so wouldn't that be amazing if you put that like onto a big project? Yes, it would. yes, it would. So I'm gonna just cut out some of this, and I'm gonna just take the pink section and we're gonna run this through here. And so I actually don't need like all of it covered. I just need to cover the parts that I'm actually going to be foiling. So I'm going to put that part close together. I'm going to open this up because that would be easier. I'm going to put those things close together, and I'm going to put this on top, and you'll notice that the pink foil is facing up. So it's the stuff you want to see. So leave that up, and we'll just pop this into the laminator. Oh, did I line it up, Brad? I can't see it. Oh, there we go. Part of my fancy tray on my really expensive laminator just wasn't lining up, but it's good. So that's coming through. We'll see if it's hot enough, I think, more with this. These pieces are a little bit thicker. Sharon says, can you iron it? I actually don't know. That is a really good question, because I kind of don't see why that wouldn't work. I kind of don't see why that wouldn't work, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so let's see. Oh, this did not work. Okay, this was not hot enough. Okay. I'm gonna set it to the 5mm setting, and I'll come back to that in a second. So yeah, I'd have to run. Oh, I don't even know if my iron is where I think it is. It's funny because people around this house don't actually iron any clothing, but that iron comes out for other things. Heat press? Possibly. Yeah, I don't even have one to test, so possibly an iron. Kathy says, what heat level? Is there a setting? I have access to a GBC laminator. So I was using the 3mm. I think that in the past I have used the 5mm, just seeing that this didn't come through. It wasn't hot enough. Terry says the Yeah collection Cricut Easy Press might work. Possibly. Yeah, I don't have that one, so there, my little blue ready light came on. So we're gonna run this back through here again and give it a shot. So hopefully this will actually work. That'd be kind of sad if it didn't. Yeah, but these are supposed to be heat reactive or whatever. Unless I grabbed like the wrong ephemera packet, that would not, I wouldn't put that past me actually. There's nothing that's come out on these. I wonder if I grabbed the wrong packet. I don't think so. I don't think so. I was sure that this was one of them. What does it say on here? Little writing. I don't see it written on this one. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. If I pulled out the wrong one, are you guys gonna like do like Alice? She doesn't know what she's talking about. Wouldn't be the first time, guys. It wouldn't be the first time. I'm gonna just try it one more time at this 5mm setting. If it doesn't work, we'll move on, because I have something else that I recently found that did work. And we can play with that. Have you tested the new Transfer Gel Duo? I saw it demoed at the Creativation, but I haven't actually tried it. So if you want to see that stuff in action, I do have a video done with Rena K with Thermoweb. So that one is in my section. This is like not even a little bit coming off, so I'm thinking I grabbed the wrong ephemera pack. Which makes me now question where the right one is. I'm sorry. This is hilarious. It doesn't say Mink on the package. Well, I thought this was the right one. But looking upon further inspection, I don't actually see that on the package. Thanks, Betsy. Oh my god. Let's come here for like this wonderful advice. I know I must have had another package then. It must be a different one, because I had a different package that had other pieces, and I have used them. So it must be the other one. Oh my gosh, like none of us have ever done that, so more. Thank you. You guys are so understanding. Hopefully y'all haven't had to deal with that on live stream, right? On a live stream. So what I do have though, and I prepped these ahead of time, was I cut out a little metal die. It's a cute little wreath. I just cut it out of some white paper, but then I covered it in this reactive mist. This is a Mink spray, so it is the Mink reactive mist. Oh my gosh. And this stuff here, I should have tested one of those pieces when I was testing stuff, like seriously. Anyways, moving on. I wonder if I can just throw this piece on here now. I should be able to. So I've covered it in this mist. Now, when this mist sprays out, it sprays out in like a big globby squirt. Like, it is not like a mist. They call it mist. It does not spray like mist. Dion says, that's okay. Now we all know not to try it with embellishments that don't say Mink. That's correct. That would be the best advice. And I'm super curious because I definitely have a pack of them that work for it, but don't know where they are. Good questions in life. Okay, so I'm going to run this through. So this reactive mist, I played with it recently and I used it. What is the purpose of the mist? It allows you to put it in places that you can't when you're just using like a toner printer. Now there is a toner marker. I've used it. I wasn't that thrilled with it. Betsy says, excited to see the mist. I have it and have never used it. Okay, so let's see this. This already looks better. Just saying. This already looks better. So it's not perfect because I painted it on by hand. And it's kind of like painting glue. But here we go. This little imperfect little image. And part of this is like the little pieces that I didn't weed out, so we can forgive it for some of this that you see on here, but there are little areas that I missed when I missed it. And that's kind of appropriate for one of our load prompts right now. So yeah, there you can see little areas that I did miss. But you know what you can do is you can go back over it with some more of this, cover this next area back up again, and put it back through. So let me just show you how I did that part. And then, actually, let's do a couple other little pieces first, and then we'll do that. Okay, so I'm gonna cut, is this wide enough? Hopefully. So one thing I did was I put this through a template. So I used this stencil right here and I kind of painted it with a paintbrush into the template. So when I did it on the black, it kind of looks like little blobs. Can you see the little blobs? They're not really hearts. They look kind of sad. Okay, well, when I did this on the black, I sprayed this on top of the template, on top of the paper, and then I started painting it around. It was kind of a mess, and it kind of seeped underneath and got everywhere. It's not the greatest thing to use with this, I will say. I did see a video where Heidi Swap says you can stick one of your mist sprayers, like your actual like Heidi Shop Shine sprayers on top. I don't know, like I think you'd have to clean it out immediately afterwards to use it. So I did this again. I did it on the white, and this time with the white, I just painted it. It's still a little bit blobby. It's going to be imperfect. If you're not okay with imperfect, buy things that are pre-foiled. Like that's about the only thing I can say. Buy things that are pre-foiled. That would be the only way that I would know to get perfection with this kind of stuff. But the good news is we're gonna throw this on here. We're gonna run it through and it's gonna be amazing. Now I picked this one that has the shiny stuff, the ombre effect, because I think that will look extra cute. Just gonna cut it down a little bit and we're gonna throw this onto here so that we've got some ombre on here. Okay, so don't expect perfection, expect pretty though. Okay, that's a brilliant idea through a stencil. Thank you. Okay, so here we go. Let's pop it through. So the mist by itself kind of makes like a big jet stream, and I'll show you just in a second so you kind of get an idea for the feel of it. But I had a couple of fun things to do. So while that's going through, maybe I will cut another piece in a different color. Which end of this is open? Maybe none. Oh, well, that's not already done. So are you guys ready for the big reveal? Da, da, da. Let's see how she goes. Ah, look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh. And so like when you see this little area, obviously I missed the little heart down in that area. And it's more like heart-esque than heart perfect, right? Like it's not perfect little hearts, but it's super pretty. And so if you're making a card or something and I was putting a sentiment, looking at this, I would likely put like a little banner right here in this area with my sentiment on that. Sheila says, I have the toner pen as well, and it never worked for me. Yeah, like I had to really get it going, and once I had got it kind of moving so that the ink would flow, then it was okay. But I do have an example of something that I did with that. So let's set this here. Yeah, and these are pretty, but like if you try using them, you could like put them into like a journaling book or something like that. You could try creating layers with layouts, but this will kind of like rub off over time. They're pretty easy to damage, so they're not gonna stay like quite so pretty and perfect either. So I've seen people play with them a bit, but they're kind of like a one and done, just use them and enjoy them kind of thing, in my opinion. So that's kind of how I feel about it. But I've seen people make little cards and stuff like with their leftover pieces. It's totally like depends on what your style is, kind of like what you're interested in trying. That's the thing, like this kind of stuff you kind of have to be willing to experiment and try. But yeah, I said I had a little book. Okay, so when we actually played with a real Mink machine, which was a treat for me, at the ScrapHappy reunion that we did in San Diego a couple of years ago. And this was a little embellishment that I made, and I had used the foil to create the toner pen to create some of this. So it's very pretty. But yeah, we had pretty mixed results with that foil pen. Another thing is like I did say there are a lot of products, and I should pull out something that actually works. Maybe I wonder if I put, oh no, they're not. I was wondering if maybe I'd put those little embellishment pieces in that. That would be what I would do now, is like I would put the little things that go in there. Knowing that these are not the ones, I would put them in there. But there are different things that you can get. So I have these alphabet letters, and they are sticker letters that you can foil. And so that's the packaging. The gold is the packaging. And then the actual letters are these black ones, and they have the foil. And then you can run them through with whichever color of foil you want. And this was what I created on my front cover, and then I kind of traced them a little bit with a white marker. I liked having a little bit more, but I'm trying to wiggle them so you can kind of catch the glint of how shiny and pretty they look kind of in person. Okay, and so we looked at this little piece here. Could you paint the mist solidly on cardstock and use the leftover sheet on that? That is a cool idea, and I think we should totally try that. So it's right here. The thing about the mist stuff is you have to let it dry, which is why I had prepped these pieces ahead of time. But I'm going to show you how I prepped them, so why don't we do that right now, and maybe as we talk, we'll still get the chance to play and create. So let's just get some of this stuff ready because we're gonna need it. Okay, so this stuff is, I'll show you how it sprays. I do have my little paintbrush handy, and I have a piece of paper handy. So we'll paint a bunch of this, we'll paint this, and it's kind of, you can see it kind of spraying out like glue. You see how it sprays like in a little jet stream? Can you see that on the camera? It's, yeah, it doesn't spray like a mist the way we would traditionally think of a mist. And so you can see that I've just dabbed it all over. And then you got to take that and let it dry. It has to dry somewhere for a little while. So I'm just going to put it onto some paper towel, and I'm going to set that up here. Now I'm going to take this and do the same thing. So you can see this is like what I would have done with the stencil, right? Laid the stencil down and I painted it into the things. Less was more, if that means anything, right? Like, don't gob it into there. You kind of want it to be fairly thin on your brush, so brush it out, kind of. So yeah, I'm going to try this and we'll see hopefully how this works. If you see a little bit of pink showing up on this paper, it's because my, and I'm not sure what the hearts are going to look like that don't receive the foil. I guess that's going to be the big question, right? They're going to be white on this paper. But are they going to be kind of sticky? Possibly. But maybe I can just like put some glitter on them or something, right? Who knows? I guess we'll find out. We'll play. So that's got to sit and it's got to dry too. Oh yeah, and so the next thing I did that I wanted to test with you guys was I painted some of this. So I embossed it and then I painted it with this. And I kind of just like lightly dabbed across the top. Going to set this aside for a few minutes. Okay, just gonna take that and set that down there. Get that out of the way for right now. My fingertips are super sticky. It feels like a kind of a glue. So Sheila says, I wonder if Versamark ink would work. I haven't heard anybody talk about that working, so I'm really not sure. So one of the big things that came out, and I don't have my hands on it yet, so I'm kind of sad, but Heidi came out with an ink pad that you could use so you could stamp an image and then do the toner with it. Or not the toner, it was like a toner ink so that you could stamp your image and then run it through with the foil. And I was like, oh, that's all kinds of fun. I'm gonna cut another piece of this. Let's make sure I cut it big enough. Well, why don't I just do this? There we go. And then I can do this little black one that I had prepped. Because even though it's blobby, I can still make a cool background, so. Okay. The thing about the Versamark, I don't know if it's going to be like, maybe if you let it dry. I don't know. I really hadn't heard. I'm curious now. I'm like wondering. I have it here on my desk. You guys want to test it? We can totally do that. So yeah, this is the one that I painted. This is the one I thought we would demo, but I think you guys can understand. I just lightly brushed the top. I wasn't sure how this was going to work because of all the texture on it. And I thought, well, guess what? We'll find out. Maybe all the texture won't allow it to attach well. I don't know. Maybe it's going to flatten it out a little bit through my machine. Oh, it moved some of the stuff already, actually. So some of this is not going to have foil on it, I think. So I haven't seen success with the tonic ink pad yet. It seems to require some trial and error. Yeah, it is not the easiest thing to use, I'll confess. Oh, I think I barely just got it on there. Oh my gosh. So because it was thick, my machine did not like that. And here is kind of a hot mess. kind of a hot mess. So that was very mixed reviews. Not overly happy with that. I could probably salvage it and do something fun with it, but it's gonna need like something else, like maybe like a big central element over the top. It's, you know, the foil part is so pretty, but it just didn't work. And I think this, well, and this embossing folder too is like super chunky. Sheila says that Jen Scow had a video on some options for foiling, and she's probably done like way more and has like a little more experience, but it's the kind of thing that I think is really fun. So this is the one I did with the black with the blobby pieces, but I think it'll be worth putting it through here and creating the background with it, even though it's kind of blobby. Okay, and so we'll let that come through, and we'll play with Versamark ink. Just need a stamp. I've got to have something handy. Oh, here we go. This was the Concord and 9th free gift stamp with purchase the other month, and I'm a fan of their stuff. Heidi makes it look so easy when she uses the toner ink stamping pad. She has the technique down. It looks like a junk journal piece. Yes, it does. Wouldn't that be a good junk journal piece? It's very imperfect, and it would allow you to do fun things. Okay, so let's have the blobby heart reveal. Actually kind of pretty, guys. Like, look how nice that is on the black. Ooh. Okay, even the blobby hearts, I'm like not hating that at all. That is pretty cute. That is pretty cute. Yep. Okay. Well, that was like a pretty good success considering it kind of looked like it was going to be so terrible. Block. And Versamark. Okay, so this is probably gonna have to wait for a minute because I think we probably need to let the Versamark dry a little bit. Like, I don't know. We'll see. I guess I could try one where it's wet and try one where it's dry. So, is that sticky enough? I think I need a new Versamark. Okay, so this is when it's wet. Let's just put one through right now. I have some of this. I got some blue here. And we'll see if it sticks. No idea. Yeah, the black background, that's like poppin'. I only thought of it because that was suggested during those Nuvo drops, and I was super happy with how that turned out. And then I was just prepping all my little white papers. I'm like, oh, we need to try some black. And like, that is a fabulous effect. And like, of course, like you can use any colors that you want, so you can really customize the stuff, right? It all depends on what color of stuff that you have. So here's, okay, it's not looking promising. So with most of the time you can kind of see the outline of where it's stuck. Yeah, like there's like zero stick there. And you can see that it's kind of left a little bit of ink on here. I don't know that when it's dry it's going to be any better. So I'm kind of thinking that's not going to work. So, too bad. Too bad. Kind of get the impression, like, because I think if it was going to work, I think it would have worked like a little bit, right? Even if it was dry. What do I have? Oh, I've got that. How is that doing? it's almost dry. It's almost, okay? So I'm just checking on that. It's not quite dry, but it's almost dry. What else did I have to foil? So, oh yeah, I was gonna show you this. So this is a layout that I made the other day for part of our load challenge. And we were talking about hands. I Want to Hold Your Hand was the song that was our inspiration of the day. We were talking about hands, and I actually created this. So I like the look of cut files, but I don't have the machine to cut them. So what I did was I hand wrote just with a pen, kind of a thick fancy pen or whatever. I hand wrote. Then I cut it out with my little scalpel blade, my craft blade. And then I used that oil slick kind of silver paper after I used this Mink Reactive Mist. So I sprayed it with the Reactive Mist. I painted it on with the Reactive Mist because it was just all goopy. And then I let that dry fully. And then I did this. Now, I watched a video and Heidi had used a heat tool to kind of heat some of it to help it dry a little quicker. The areas, when I was drying this, I found that some of it kind of bubbled and crusted a little bit on top. And those areas are some of the areas that did not work very good because I'd used a black pen underneath. It was white paper, but then I had wrote with black. You can see that some of these areas in here are not fully foiled, right? The foil did not stick in a few little areas. For this, it totally doesn't matter. It's a page about messy hands. I've done some really fun stuff with embossing powders from Emerald Creek Crafts, and I just love the look of this. And I liked these letters, like these thicker letters. They actually have a little bit of that iridescent holographic look to them. It's really hard to get that to show up on camera, but they kind of have like a little thin outline in the center of every letter of the iridescent foil. So I thought like bringing that other iridescent was kind of perfect. I used a little glittery pen around the edge, and it was kind of like a quick page that was done over a long period of time, like, 'cause I could do like one little piece and then I could do a different little piece, but it was not all done like all together. But yeah, I love how it looked. I'm super happy with how it turned out, even with the little imperfections. Like, that totally doesn't bother me. And overall, I was like, dang, that worked out good. So that was a really fun thing to try with that. Okay, so let's take, do I have any other, I just have more little birthday card pieces that I've printed here, prepped, and that thing is almost dry. So we're gonna try the leftover piece on that. So I'm gonna just cut another little piece of this foil here for my birthday card. So I may as well run a few of those through. It is my nephew's birthday, and I need to do a card for him. Probably not with pink. I'm thinking he's not going to be like, oh yeah, bring on the pink. But I think it could look really cool for a different card if I do kind of this ombre section. And some of the new foils that Heidi has, they're amazing. If you're shopping and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to have some of these things, and if you're going to shop at scrapbook.com, I do have an affiliate link, and I really appreciate when you use it. It is bit.ly/scrappyshop, and the link is always in the description of my videos. So any of my videos, all the ones from Creativation, all of it. And this is like a little thing when you use the link, but it helps me, so I always appreciate that. Okay, so I'm gonna put this here, and I've got the gold at the top, the pink at the bottom, and I think this is gonna be really pretty. And imagine, so you can see on these, I've done them on, actually I'm gonna do one of these ones. You can see that I've done them on white paper, but I could have used my black toner paper, like black, I could black paper through the machine just as easily, right? And had this really popping. So note to self, find some black cardstock that my printer doesn't hate. So then I'll have some options, and then we'll run that through and we'll do the test to see how that looks. So yeah, I just think that foil elements are a great way to add that little touch of something special to your pages. I really love sparkly, shiny things. And so for me to do them, it's kind of, oh, peeling that off is like magic. Seriously, like I should have had that like way up closer so you could see. It looks like super professional too, right? Like, doesn't that look like super professional? And like my paper is actually terrible. Like my printer left little bits of stuff on there, but it is so good. And then once you have that on there, you can still do other effects. Like if you wanted to do like misting or something on the page, totally works, right? So yeah, that looks so cool. Thanks. Okay, so let's do our test. Let's see how this works. So I coated this all with the mist. It is pretty dry now. And we are going to take this sheet here of this paper that had all of the hearts, the more successful heart one that we did. This one here. This one here. So it's the leftovers from that. And let's see how that works out for us. If this works, then who suggested this? If this works, you're a genius. Just saying. Was it Kathy? Who had said that? I don't remember anymore. But Tina had said, I've heard that the Versamark definitely doesn't work. Not sticky enough. Yep, that was pretty much what but we saw it firsthand, so we know that that was real now. Oh, I'm so excited to see. This is like, I'm kind of like... Sheila says, what is the name of the cardstock your printer takes? I haven't found one that doesn't get jammed in mine. It's like a lightweight one from Staples. It was really cheap, but it's a fairly thin cardstock. Yeah, I can't actually... I went to grab it from the package, so I could have told you, but I only had the leftover sheets there, so the package was missing, and I'm like, don't think I did that. Okay, so for starters, this stuff is like, okay, so it's sticky still. It's sticking to the paper because some of this, like where the clear spots are, so it doesn't want to come off very, oh my gosh, easy. And some of it tore right off. But overall, dang. Oh, look at that. That is so nice. I am so excited. I wish that one part hadn't tore off. Like it kind of like, eek. So it still feels like sticky. I wonder if I can get this little spot to stick back on there. If I put this back on here, do you think it would go? I could try it. I can like line it back up and stick it back through the machine, right? Let's see if I can get that last little bit to stick on there, because it looks so good and just like has like a couple of imperfections that are just a little too imperfect. Yeah, let's line it up right there. Okay, I'm gonna run it through again. Yeah, it looks so cool. I'm excited about that. It's still like, it sticks to that film, but it doesn't feel sticky to my fingers. Although my fingers feel a little sticky, so maybe I should wash my fingers off. Wash my fingers off a little bit. Okay. Well, this was like a really great idea. And nobody's putting their hand up and saying, I said that! I said that! Come on, guys. Take the credit! Okay, so we're gonna have to pull this again. Yeah, because it's really sticking because of the areas that don't have the stuff. no, it didn't stick again in those spots. Darn it. I was hoping that it would. Like, maybe that'll fix it. But like, that's pretty good coverage for this stuff, right? We got like most of it on there. And maybe that was just an area where I had bad brush strokes, right? Like where I didn't cover it thick, like enough in that spot. But what a nice little background that'll be for a card. Whoa, so pretty. Staples brand cardstock is 110 pound weight. It's light enough and will run through most printers, says Kathy. Thank you. And Gail says, I said that. Gail Churches. Woo woo. Woo woo. Where's my mouse? I've lost it on my desk here. I said that. Give you a little party because this is fun. That is such a fun thing to do, and what a fun way to use up the rest of the stuff. And like, it doesn't feel sticky to my hand, right? Like, so it definitely would have the misty stuff there or whatever, but like, I don't think if I poured embossing powder on it that it would stick to this. Right now, do I have that stuff still sitting? No, I was gonna say I had some sitting on my desk so we could test it, but it's not sitting here anymore, and I don't have loose glitter handy. So, but I think that looks amazing. So we got this side here first, and then we got this side here with the leftovers. Oh, I almost like this better, although I really like that one actually. So both are fantastic. That turned out great. Yeah, and now it's like curious because, you know, we could take these little happy birthday pieces and we could put those and maybe use that again, right? Like when we have the leftover bits. Ooh, that's exciting to me. So fun. And what do I have here? Do I have a little scrappy piece of the foil sitting somewhere? Because I still have that one other thing that I painted. So I can't think of any other things that I wanted to talk about. This was just a super fun way to kind of play, kind of experiment, show you the stuff that I've used. And I swear, Heidi does actually sell like a bunch of products that you can use with the Mink machine. And some of them are ephemera packs that you can put through the machine. So that's a real thing. I wasn't just making it up, even though I had the wrong ones here today. That's super funny. Sheila says, I'll look for it. My printer hates 65-pound recollection paper from Michaels. Yeah, and different printers have their different points where they're really fussy. But yeah, Staples does have different ones. I don't even know if the one that I'm using is 110 pound. It's pretty light. I'm thinking that it's a lighter than 110. But yeah, this is fun. That's my laminator. You can just imagine how much fun I could have on a full 12 by 12 sheet, which is why, you know, the idea of getting myself one of the things is really good. Have you tried the We Are Memory Keepers foil pen? Ooh, like the like the foil quill. I did, and I've actually shared it. Did I share it on here? Where have I shared it? I've shared it on camera before, so I have one sitting right here. I have the foil quill freestyle pen, and so that gives you a different opportunity to play. It's a different kind of foil than this. There are different ones that do different things, so not all foil is the same. If your printer has a thick paper setting, it really helps. Yeah, for printing stuff with your printer. Yeah, not all foils are the same. Some of them have very different properties, so you kind of have to make sure that you get the right one for the stuff that you're using. But yeah, the We Are Memory Keepers foil quill, it's so fun. It is so easy, guys. I wish I'd warmed it up. I don't have it here on my desk. I don't know why. I thought it was right there. That's yeah, tech stuff has got in the way. But yeah, I think you should get the Mink machine, says Gail. Thank you. I needed a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of like support in that. Because I'm like really reserved in shopping, I tell you. As we look around the room. No, it's super fun. And I think just having the chance to play and do some of the things will be a lot of fun. And as they come out with new things. So let's talk really quick about, we kind of talked for a moment about Heidi's new toner ink pads. So the topic for another day. So the toner ink pads, they are an imperfect solution to a big problem. I'm just going to turn that off because it's noisy. So imperfect solution, by that I mean that the ink pads, they come with refillable cartridges. So basically you have an ink pad that's kind of like this, like they're shaped different or whatever, but think of like this part, like the little foamy part, as a temporary piece that pops in and out of the hard case. Okay, so that's kind of how they work. And that little piece, you put it into the thing, you load it up with, like, you pour a certain amount of the toner onto it to kind of make it inky. You have to let it sit for a few minutes to kind of sink it all in, and then you can use it like a stamp pad, and they last for maybe two-ish hours once you've inked them up. And then that's it. That little insert cartridge after that will go in the garbage, and then you'll have to pop your new one in. So those inserts are disposable. They made the case so that it's reusable, and you can just buy the inserts so that you can stamp with it and stamp and create. So my thoughts on the thing: it's not super easy to use. It looked like you'd be lucky to get a full 2 hours, honestly, out of it because of kind of it drying up over time. So you'd want to have your stuff prepped so that you have your stamps, you can stamp, you can run it through your machines and stuff like that. I can't remember if it needed drying time. You'll have to look specifically at the instructions. But if you're like really keen on stamping and putting stuff through your Mink machine, not your Scotch machine, but your actual Mink machine, if you're really keen on that idea, there is that option now. Like I said, it's imperfect. You get like a little bottle of the toner ink to load up onto the stuff, and you have like a little kind of like medicine little thing so that you pour, I think it was like 10 mils and 15 mils, like so, or 10 mils and 5 mils. So 15 mils total, I think, was how much you needed to kind of load up the ink pad. It's imperfect. Definitely, it's not ideal because it's like disposable. It's just that it's unstable, right? It doesn't stay on your ink pad and just last there. So, you know, they've done the best. They found the best solution they can using the limitations that system has. So I think that was kind of cool. The toner pens, when they work, do provide pretty decent results. Like you saw on the little element that I had drawn on in my book. Of course, I put it away. You saw on that element. And yeah, like it definitely was one where you had to, you know, we were coloring and doing different things. And I think it's just kind of neat that you could do stuff like that with the pen. I'm not sure if I had any other pieces in here. I don't think so. So yeah, different things to do with a Mink machine. And it's so fun. It's so sparkly. Let's like look really quick. Oh, I didn't run that one through the machine. Let's look really quick at some of the stuff we've done today. I think they're super pretty, and just being able to customize and get that like super shiny look to them, I think is amazing. Toner stuff works super well. So if you like a more perfect, using the toner definitely gives you a slightly more perfect effect on your stuff. We've got my blobby experience that looks kind of pretty. We've got this hot mess that will be able to be used for something else. And we've got This one also done well. Really helps if your toner printer, your laser printer, lays down a good solid chunk of stuff. So maybe not like your lightest quality, like a better quality. So it's really laying down your toner well. But yeah, we've created lots of little fun, shiny elements today, played a little bit and experimented a little bit, had some wins, had some fails. But yeah, I think that, you know, with the different options that are available and the pretty colors that you can get, like, you know, it just really opens up some doors to creativity, and that's what I'm all about. I love to get playful. So I'm going to just go back here. So thank you so much for joining me for this session this week. I'll be back on Tuesday. That is going to be our next one. I haven't quite decided what we're going to talk about, but something will happen. I'll use a product. I'll play with something. I'll see something, somebody's page, maybe in our load gallery, and I'll be like, we need to talk about this. And if you have a suggestion, you can just let me know. Leave it in the comments underneath this video, because that's a great place for us to share our suggestions for future episodes of our Happy at Home series. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Do some happy scrapbooking, and we can get together again on Tuesday here on YouTube. Sharon says thank you. So yeah, Kathy, she's like, there's enablers here. I know. That's perfect. I needed that. Probably didn't need that, actually. I do quite well on my own, but it's really good. Thank you, says Gail. Thank you, says Jan. So interesting. Yeah, I think it's fun. What's even more fun is if you have a friend that has it and you can try this with your friend, use their stuff and see if it's the kind of thing that you want to add to your stash. And that's hopefully what I was able to provide for you today, even from afar. Joy says, Happy Mother's Day, gals. Yay. Thanks so much, everyone. I will see you on Tuesday, if not before then. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.